to How to Feed a Loon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My beefy loon. You're really beefing up
I
lately.
am, yeah.
He's going to be beefing up on what we're eating today, I'll tell you that. Because
Lord.
it does include beef.
Yes.
And better than that, it's Asian.
Yes.
We are walking and rolling today.
That's right,
folks.
we're stirring it up.
We are going to stir things up with our stir fry. Yay. Let's tell them what we're doing.
Yay.
We're doing
Mongolian beef.
Yay.
Oh.
It's such a classic dish.
You were so clever. First of all, beefy. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
It's hilarious. I know. It just, it happens effortlessly. Anyway, so we're doing Mongolian beef. If you've ever been to, like, in the United States, any, like, famous Asian restaurant,
Yeah.
Chinese restaurant, Mongolian beef is always a
It's
popular
all
dish.
a staple on the menu.
It's interesting. The origins of it, it's actually not from Mongolia, but I believe it's Thailand and
Taiwan.
Taiwan, I mean,
Yes.
and it's but it's really not Thai food. It's really more Chinese, but really not. It's very popular
Anyway,
in the
it's
States.
delicious.
It's super delicious. That's all that really matters. So let's
and it's
talk
got some heat to it. At least
a
we
little
put-
bit. You can adjust that according to if you
right.
like it super spicy or not. Okay.
Let's start.
Let's get going. Okay, I'm jacked up on this. I'm so
You've
excited.
had too much coffee.
I know. So let's talk about the beef. Because that was a big
That was a big
component of beef,
yes.
Mongolian beef.
And that's the giant joke that you had earlier. Okay.
It's a giant joke. Oh, the beef joke. Okay, so what we're starting, it's traditionally made with a cut of meat called flank steak. Flank steak is really tender. It's really great. It can be a little hard to find. If you go to your butcher, they're definitely going to have it.
Right. Skirt steak is a substitute.
Skirt steak is a good substitute. If you can't find skirt steak, you can just get like a strip steak. And one thing that you can do to make it easier is to put a strip steak in the freezer, let it get kind of firm, and then you're going to slice it into very thin slices. That makes that easy. But what I did with this, it was you're gonna get it where you're gonna see what's called the grain, and that's these little just lines of in the meat.
Yeah,
and you're gonna want
the
muscle. You're gonna want to cut against the
it.
grain. It just it's gonna make the eating more tender. So you slice it into I do like little half-inch strips, and then what you're gonna do is then take it and cut those into maybe half-inch to quarter-inch strips again, and you're basically kind of cubing it. They're big cubes.
Right.
Okay.
Big
cubes. Then we're going to liberally season it with some salt and pepper, because that's all the salt that we're going to be adding. Because this does include a fair amount of soy sauce. So if you oversalt it, it's going to be too salty. But if you undersalt it, it won't be salty enough.
Right.
So seasoned enough. So then
So you salted it on both sides. You got it all.
I use my
over
little
the place.
spatula to kind of turn it over. Make sure you're watching your hands. Don't go touching things that
Stick to your meat.
Stick to your meat. And okay, and now what we're going to do is we want to get this even more tender than it already is. And there's a trick to doing that, and it is called cornstarch and baking soda. Those two together combined, when you put them with meat, it really makes it super tender. So what I do is I just get a large freezer bag, a zipper bag, put your meat in there, and then we're going to dump in a quarter cup of cornstarch that's also got a teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay.
And then then we need to lube things up a little bit. So we're going to add water and vegetable oil, and I got 2 tablespoons of each of those, and that goes in there. You seal that up, and then you just use your fingers to kind of massage that, get the meat fully incorporated with that cornstarch mixture. Then you zipper that up. Now, if you probably had your baggie on your cutting board that had the meat, so you don't want to put anything that's been exposed to raw meat into your fridge. So I just put it on
a plate
and then stick it in the fridge. In like an hour, while you're prepping the rest of the stuff, it's really enough time
For that to marinate.
To do its thing.
To soak all that deliciousness
to get really super tender. You can do this the night before, like 12 hours in advance, and that's perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. So
all right, so that's the meat.
That's the meat.
Yes.
So now let's talk about the sauce.
Let's talk about the sauce.
See if you can do it,
Yes.
Loon. I'm gonna get. So, let me say, we're cooking with a wok.
Yeah.
Now, normally we would be doing this over on our stove, but we want to see your beautiful faces, and we want you to be able to see our happy faces.
Yes.
So we're going to use our stovetop here.
Yeah,
and
it's brand new. So good luck on your maiden voyage.
Thank you. So this is called a wok ring. I would normally put this on your burner and then place the wok on
top of it.
On top of it, so it stays sturdy.
Yes.
Obviously, when you woks are the way they're shaped.
So protects you from spillage.
You don't want spillage. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do this together, and I've got a hot pad here somewhere.
Right here. I'm carrying it around.
Thank you. Give me my hot pad. And then I'm just going to hold it steady like that, and the Loon is going to help me. But if you do this, just be super careful. You can if you don't have a wok, you can also do this in just a nice large skillet.
All right.
Okay, I have talked.
Yeah,
All right. So
turn
now,
that on so you can start heating it up. And
I'm going to
talk about this amazing sauce.
That's right.
It's got all these wonderful Asian components in it. First, starting with soy sauce, which is a 1/4 cup of soy.
You can use low sodium if you want.
Then some brown sugar. This is a 1/4 cup of brown sugar
So
as
Mongolian
well.
beef has that fabulous Asian where it's got a little bit of spice and a little bit of sweet. And that's
Then we have 3 tablespoons of, I know it, oysters.
You got it, oyster sauce. Now again,
sauce.
every one of these ingredients I found at my local supermarket in the Asian section. Asian food is just so popular, and people are having so much fun cooking it at home. It's really easy to find.
And then 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce.
Again, in the Asian section.
Yeah.
If you can't find these, you can certainly buy them online.
3 tablespoons of sweet Thai chili sauce.
Sweet Thai chili sauce. That one can be a little harder to find. I did find
put
it at
that
my
on some wings.
I know. But if you can't find Thai sweet sauce, you just use a chili sauce, any kind of a chili sauce, which is easy to find.
Got it. And then we have a teaspoon each of, that's ginger and that's garlic, finely minced.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, quick, just a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes, and then a teaspoon of cornstarch, right?
Yep. Okay. Sorry, I'm checking out my
Your maiden voyage.
my
there?
maiden voyage
That's
over
all
here.
right.
Yeah,
I
this
still
thing
have
gets
some work over here.
screaming hot. Okay. So now in my wok, I've got.
And then I'm going to mix this all together.
Yes, he's gonna mix it all. And I've got 4. I'm turning this down because I got this super hot. I've got a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Now I'm gonna put in 3 teaspoons of minced garlic, and it's going to cook because this is screaming hot.
Yes.
So you don't do it. You don't need to go in there long. Yeah.
You get ready. I'm over here.
Okay. Okay. Now you go ahead and dump that meat in there, would you, Loon? Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That is nice and hot.
Yeah, it is scorching hot. Okay.
There we go.
So now this is going to.
Ooh, that toasted those nicely. That
know,
garlic.
I
Oh,
know.
it smells so good.
I know, it's amazing. So now what's going to happen is we're just going to cook this. It just takes a few minutes until it's just really no longer pink. This is so hot that it does not take long.
Yeah.
And this dish really comes together. It's super important that you do what we call our mise en place, which is
Having everything in place.
everything in place, because like I said, you're not going to have time to I got to go mince my garlic or something
right.
because we're cooking with heat here, so it doesn't take long.
love it.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Okay. All right. So now
we are stir frying.
we are stirring and a frying.
All right,
So
what do
this
you
was
need
not that
next?
hot up there, so I'm using my
Oh.
hand.
there you go.
Just be careful because
Right.
so we got this thing screeching hot. So now you can see this is till it's
looks
just
good.
almost no longer pink because we're
Yeah.
going to continue cooking. All right. Now we're going to stir fry the vegetables. We've got. This is just a half a bell pepper
Yeah.
that I cut into kind of large chunks.
Give them some
a lot
chunks.
of Chinese,
I like
Asian food. Yeah, the vegetables are pretty chunky.
Sorry, I let you talk.
Yeah. You like what? You like?
I like them to be a little crispy in my Chinese.
Well, yeah. So
my Asian
these
thing.
are not over. Yeah, a lot of times when you get them, they're not so soft that they do have a little bit of bite to them. The vegetables. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that looks great.
I know.
I'm so hungry.
I know. You smell this, and it's.
I love it. It actually reminds me, we used to, and I'm sure we've said this before, there's this great, and it's no longer there on the Upper West
can't
Side of New
believe
York
it.
City. It was called The Cottage.
It's a Chinese restaurant.
Chinese restaurant, and it had such great food. Plus, they gave you free wine,
Yeah.
which when we were in school, that was a very important.
Yeah,
thing.
I think that's maybe a part of the reason that they're no longer open. Because we would go in like.
Well, they caught on pretty quick that
Yeah.
when we only order a plate of fried rice, and then we just sit there for 3 hours.
I know. And they go, no more wine, and no more unless you order more.
Oh, the good old days.
Good old days. Okay, now we're really going to amp up the flavor.
Yes,
and we're going
let's throw in the sauce.
pour that in. Okay, this is when the flavor profile just goes through the roof. Okay, so
Amazing.
now the cornstarch that was on the steak, as well as the little bit that we put in the sauce, acts as a thickener. Doesn't that look just amazing?
Yes.
And it will start to make this sauce just kind of a little thicker, like what that classic sauce that you see and that you get whenever you order Chinese food or your favorite Korean food, or it's mostly
Sesame
Chinese.
seeds. Where are the sesame seeds?
Oh, that's true. Well, that's okay. We have them over there in the pantry.
Okay,
over there.
well, you keep stirring that. I'm going to get the sesame seeds.
We're just cooking and having fun here. It's good to cook as a team, right? All right, doesn't that look amazing? Now, folks, that is really, it's really ready. It's gotten to a nice thickness. Those vegetables are nice and cooked. They're, I would call them al dente. And did you find
And I've got them.
And you've got sesame
Sesame
seeds. Okay, now we've got, so we like to, you can serve, it's very popular to serve this over whatever your favorite kind of rice is. Jasmine rice is nice, white rice, brown rice. It's also very popular, I think mostly in the States, a lot of times we serve it over those cellophane type noodles, but however you serve it, it's so amazingly good. Doesn't
right
that
in the
look,
middle there.
isn't that just beautiful?
Yeah.
Let me give you a little
I
more.
love that sauce.
I know, the
All
sauce
right.
is to die for.
Let me give you some for you.
It's just so good. You guys, you see how easy it is. Now remember what I was saying, you saw how quickly it came together. The most difficult part of this is just, and it's not even difficult, but there is some prep work. But you gotta make sure you get all that prep work done, so once you start stir frying, you're ready to go to town.
Okay, I've got some little scallions here cut up, which are just another burst of color and flavor. I like some green onions.
And
on
we're
there.
just gonna do a little sprinkle of sesame seed, just because why not? We love to make it as beautiful as possible.
Y'all.
Oh, I didn't stir in, shoot.
What?
Normally you would stir in, sorry, I was rushing. Normally I have some green onions that you can stir in.
Oh, there you go.
That's, I forgot to do that.
That's all right. We've got some here too.
Yeah. So
All right, look
I
at
have
that.
that noted in the recipe card. But anyway, okay, now we're
All
good
right,
to
are
go.
you done? Can
Yes.
I eat now?
Please eat.
Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. I am starving and I'm going to eat it like nobody's business.
Imagine
and
that.
I'm going to throw a little soy sauce on because I like a little extra
I know.
soy.
This is one of those dishes that you can use a little soy sauce. We're going with low sodium. It's beautiful. And just wait till you taste that
I'm
steak.
gonna get a little bit of everything on my board.
Yeah. Oh, the steak. It's so crazy how that. Well, I'll shut up. It's better than takeout. It's better than those chains. It's comfort at its
I've
best.
got a lot of feels going on right now.
I love it.
That's one of my favorite Asian dishes of all time.
Is
It's so good. That sauce, I love that sauce because it's got that kind of like that really comforting, homey, thick deliciousness to it. And that steak is so tender.
It melts in your mouth tender.
And I love because you used whatever you put on the cornstarch and the
baking
and the
soda.
baking soda. It makes that sauce just stick to the
I
meat.
know. It sticks to the meat. It sticks to your ribs.
That is so good. That is 1,000% Loon approved. Yeah. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Oh, I'm so
This
excited.
is better than takeout. I'm serious.
I know. I'm telling you
And it's
guys.
so easy.
It really
I mean,
is.
the hardest prep is cutting your vegetables.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's not really that difficult.
Right. Oh, so good. Isn't that great? Oh, it takes me back to the cottage.
I know. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so good. This is so much fun to make. Just be careful with your wok.
And it's just the right amount of heat.
I know. Yes, if you want more heat, add more chili peppers. If you want less heat, just use less chili
So
peppers.
good. Now you can get this recipe and many other Asian recipes on howtofeedaloon.com.
That's right.
Wow.
I just can't stop thinking about
you
how
all need to make this.
So go to our social media, like us, share us, do all of that wonderful stuff.
If they don't have a wok, what can they use?
I said that. You can do it in a large skillet.
I was too busy eating when I...
Well, you weren't eating yet. But anyway, yes, you can make this in a skillet. A wok, there's something about a wok that is
Yeah,
just...
it's fun.
And it makes the food
Yeah,
taste
go
better.
buy a
but-
wok.
Yeah. Okay. We've walked around enough. All right, we're going to walk around that subject. All right, bye, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Now, if you want to be a part of the Loon Fun, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you won't miss a single recipe.
Ooh, that's right. And if you want another amazing Asian recipe just like this, well, then just click right here.
Yeah, click. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah, click subscribe.